out ahead, but you never know. Little circular drive. Be careful what's up ahead.
You have to be careful, right? And speaking of ahead, we had a big closure this weekend.
Huge.
$5 billion company shuts the doors, goes out of business. Here it is right here, yellow roadway, drive safe.
Yeah, no, in the industry, this has been a standard for a long time, over 100 years been out there. And today, they got padlocks on the properties, they got things locked up, people out of a job, 30,000 union members. I mean, it's just a sad story.
Yeah, a lot of people out of work today, and it is no doubt about it, drive safe, Dave. As we look at Consolidated, we look at a yellow, Consolidated Freightways went through the same thing. You know, the other oldest unionized company shut their doors down about 15 years ago, probably.
Something like that.
Let me tell you something, drive safe. In this industry, if you're not on top of your game, if you don't have the right workforce out there, if you're not safe, if you're not doing all the right things, Dave, in today, which requires a lot of usage of technology, you're going to be in trouble. You will not make it in today's environment, even to the independent contractor. The person with one truck, drive safe, Dave, listen, there's a lot of them going out of business right now.
Absolutely, and continuing it to do it the way we've always done it before will get you in a lot of trouble. In fact, will probably get you to right where that is.
Do you say that's what we've always done? Because if you do, you may end up like them. Don't catch yourself doing that. Stay ahead of the game. Do something different. Stay ahead. Drive safe, Dave. We're going to come back. Speaking of ahead, we've got some computers. We got some robot talk coming up next.
A little bit of technology going on.
A little bit of tech right here on BCB Live.
The safest station in the nation.
All right, hey, check it out. Here we are live right here in Mansfield, Texas, our BCB Live studio. What I really love about this place right now are the endless opportunities, the endless ways that you can use this studio.
Hey, welcome back to the 2023 Pickle Parade.
BCB Live, we started out really focused on that transportation, that trucking only. You know, talking about safety, making sure that we're giving that story about safety. We have the ability to do interviews, social media content, sales opportunities. What are you showcasing? What are you doing today that you've got to get that out? And welcome back to BCB Live. Yes, indeed, we are that safest station in the nation. You know, during the break, some of my favorite things happen. I got to sit here and get the dude dressed again. He had his pockets out, hanging out. What's going on with the pockets?
Well, you know what? I tried to do the back pocket. I couldn't get my little devices here working. So whatever the case is, it just became I just went into disarray, a little bit of disorganization right there at the last minute.
Drive safe, Dave. I know we're going to talk about some heat, but just some quick preparations on that. Hey, listen, it's hot out there.
It is.
You got to make sure that you're ready to go. I spend a lot of time outside, Drive safe, Dave, working, you know, whether
outside where? Outside your office? Outside where? Outside. I just want to know where you're talking about.
Come on now. He's getting a little personal here, folks. But here we go. Hey, Dave, we talk about robots. We talk about technology. And yes, that includes forklifts running on their own.
Yeah, you know, as you go out of many warehouses, you'll start to see more and more of this happening, loading and unloading by robots in different manufacturing facilities. Pretty impressive what they can do, just making sure that they get it off and get it on in the right weights, the right time, the right stuff. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of this, and some of the most intriguing thing about technology, and again, Drive Safe, I'm going to go back and I say it's different, right? It's different. There's nobody in there. But listen, these forklifts, there's no beepers, there's no horn going on because they know where the other forklift is, right?
Absolutely.
They never hit each other, Drive Safe, Dave. They don't talk about the football game. So from an operational standpoint, huge increase in productivity. They always take the shortest route.
Yep.
They change their own batteries. Dave, does that scare you? I mean, what do you think about that? Because that's kind of what we do when we talk about trucks. We're like, whoa, come on now.
No, I'm not scared of automation in a lot of ways and a lot of things. I think some of the things and we're not talking about 80 miles and 75 miles an hour right here. We're also talking about 4 miles an hour backing out of a trailer. But I will talk to you a little bit that automation will open up jobs as well. I mean, they say that it'll take away jobs. It'll continue to open up jobs because you have to be able to manufacture these. You have to be able to install these. You have to be able to maintain these. All machines break down, and you still need to be able to do this. And my only question is, when the electricity goes out, who's running them?
Well, I mean, are you really running it anyway when the power's out?
know.
I mean, you got generators, you got stuff like this. But Dave, we even have the sort and seg, right? You have this. But I look at this right here, and it drove me crazy. I'm just going to tell you today, Drive Safe. What do you see on this right here?
I see a sorter pulling stuff off the manufacturing line, and it's picking up boxes that are full of wine and setting them down in the right amount of time to be packaged and labeled and out to the right shipper. This is an amazing sorter. It's picking up in a different way every time. It's spinning them, turning them, it's doing what it has to.
But here's my thing. I mean, why are we even putting the box right there in the middle? It makes it pick it up. Just put it in order. So I look at this thing right here. I say, hey, who created the work for the robot here? Because way down there on the assembly line, somebody's not doing the job the right way. That's all I got to say.
Well, you're not looking at the other part.
And look at this. Hey, how about you just make a belt that goes the whole way?
It has to come out at the right time every time.
Just saying, folks, there's a lot here, Dave. That's still not what this robot shouldn't even be here.
Well,
it's doing work that shouldn't be done.
Well, the good news is that thing weighs about probably 35 pounds, and if you had to pick one up every 2 minutes, your back would be wore out. I mean,
I get that. Those
are bottles of wine.
Those aren't life size?
No, those are Sutter Home wine. That's wine.
Oh, man. Hey, but Drive Safe, Dave. Yeah, pretty cool stuff right there.
Yeah,
technology continues to make its way in our industry. We're going to come back, Drive Safe. I got a quiz for you. We have more news. Yes, we still have your local weather. All of that and much, much more right here on BCB Live.
The safest station in the nation. What if it was different? We get a bad rap from those pesky lawyers. I'm David Dover. The Sledge. It ain't pretty when you get detained at the shipper or receiver for hours on end. How many holidays did you spend over the road away from the family?
Call David Dover, the Sledgehammer, to report a driver that's done something right.
All right. Hey, Drive Safe, we're back. I'm trying to find my quiz for you because I'm not near as smart without a little bit of help. But here we go, Drive Safe, Dave. I found it right here.
Okay.
All right. Dave, you're a history guy.
I do like history.
You are a history guy. Who is Leland James?
Don't know.
No name. All right. That's okay. I didn't expect that. He introduced Freightliner. Did you know that?
Oh, okay.
And where did he come from before Freightliner? What was Leland's job? What was he?
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say something.
A trucking company, a large Freightliner, the largest company today. Who created that? Who invented? Who was the starter of that company? From what company and where? What? Talk to me.
I don't know where you're going, but I'm leaving. Come on, teach me, because I'm not
Freightliner was created by Consolidated Freightways. James Leland was the president, CEO of Consolidated Freightways. Went out and needed a lighter truck.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yep.
So created that based on the aluminum, did all of that stuff, created Freightliner. Quick fact, one more time, going back to our boys at Yellow. Since 2010, Dave, 2010, 13 years. I'm just going to say they had 3 years of making money.
Okay.
One of those years, the 3 years, they never topped 25 million. Remember, they're a $5 billion company. The other years lost $200 to $300 million a year.
Ouch.
Hard to stay in business when you're losing that kind of money.
Who's the guy that signs off on that every year?
You know what? I know, but you know what? So thoughts this, Dave. Let's just go into it. Our president, Donald Trump, bails them out with our money. The U.S. Treasury now we put in $700 million, 30% of this company owned by the U.S. Treasury. What happens? Good decision, bad decision. It's easy now, right? Yeah. Armchair.
Yeah, I'm going to say bad decision.
But what are your thoughts on that? Does it make you mad at all? Was it the right decision?
You know what?
At the time?
In the moment, it was held by both parties, that both the union and both the owners of the company, and everybody at the time said it was a great decision, and it helped us solidify a much-needed bailout at the time. I personally think that bailouts over time aren't a good thing. I believe I'm a capitalist by nature, and I think at some point, the strong survive and the weak fall off.
Yeah, I mean, when we go back to COVID, there was a lot of uncertainty back in COVID. And when you think about this, $700 million goes to this company to bail them out, because what was perceived is that they were like handling all the freight from the U.S. government, and they were needed. There's no chance that back in those days that we could have made it without the contracts that they had. And again, I'm just going to say, no, we would have been fine.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a bad decision then. I think we even called it out. You know what? We'll go back to that day it got announced, and I promise you on BCB Live, we called it out. But that was not the right decision. You don't bail out, and bail out.
No, you don't.
I mean, you look at their performance. What are they doing? And again, Dave, I look at that. I don't know where that stands. $700 million, in which we know, you and I,
every one of us,
all of us own 30% of a company that's gone.
Yeah, we lost.
It just drives me crazy. We have the post office. We can't do anything else, right? Only the post office is the only one allowed to lose money. Hey, drive safe, Dave. Let's talk a little weather, though.
Okay, let's go. Hey, again, it is hot, and as you can see in the southern countries, you can see as this dome has shifted a little to the east, you're starting to get a little moisture build up in the west, which they've needed it, and also it continues to flow over the dome. So this high-pressure system continues to rest right here in the south. It has moved east a little bit. It's going to be hot down here. And it's a really interesting fact that I wanted to show you on the next slide is like all the way out here, this is the Sahara Desert out in the Africa. You can see how hot it is. You know what? We got them. I mean, we're just as hot, if not hotter, as they are out there in the Sahara Desert.
Yeah, and again, we're going to keep talking about that. You've got to stay hydrated during these times. You've got to make sure you're drinking the water, you're drinking the fluids, you are staying hydrated. Drive safe, Dave. It's so critical, and I think sometimes in what we do out there in the truck, we think we're immune to it because we're just going out there to do that pre-trip. We're just going to go do a post-trip. What you got?
Well, I can tell you right off the bat, it is a modified pre-trip. It is a modified post-trip when you're on your third trailer and it is 107 degrees and you're out on that blacktop and it is turned at 120 degrees. It's not as easy to get up underneath the trailer when it's that hot. It's not as easy to touch the lug nuts. It's not as easy to walk around and check the airlines, but you have to be patient. You have to understand the need, the necessity, and the requirement under the law to go out and make sure the equipment is safe, that you're touching, you're running, and that you're going to get out there on the road with our families.
Yeah, for sure. And even then, we can talk a little bit about situational awareness. With that, if you're a local driver, drive safe, they're going to be getting in and out of that vehicle a lot more than an over-the-road driver is. And if you're used to driving over the road and today they have you working local, be ready to drink that water and that fluid because you will be out of that truck a lot more going in and out of the customers, dropping and hooking, whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah, believe it or not, that when you get dehydrated, it becomes a genuine distraction on what you're able to do and your performance level drops a lot. That heat is a distraction, Sir Rick. I mean, everybody on the road wants to get away from it. Everybody's running from it, and everybody's trying to be away. Be cool, stay cool, and do everything you can to watch out for that.
Yeah, and that's not the time to have Mary Jane as part of your life, right?
Yeah, this is an interesting article.
It really is.
That came out today, and I read it with, it talked about how marijuana is starting to evolve in the country, and it's starting to become legal in several states, and that the number of drivers, CDL holders, has increased greatly on their popping them on a drug quest, on a drug test. And what's concerning to me is everybody saying, well, it's not fair, it's not fair. And I'm going to say, first of all and foremost, CDL drivers, you have a responsibility to the country and what you do.
Yes, you do.
Life isn't fair. You have what you have because you are judged better than everybody else by being a Class A driver. This right here, we cannot have marijuana, and we cannot have people doing drugs driving these big trucks.
Hey, real quick, look at the screen. Where am I? I blend in.
I know, but I think that's one of your signature dance moves, Sir Ray. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's you.
Oh, hey, but we are going to say this, drive safety. I'm going right with you on this right here is, listen, what we do here as a trucking industry, listen, we're not regulated under what happens at the state level, right? Just because Colorado, you're allowed to smoke it in Colorado, it doesn't mean you can do it as a truck driver. Drive safe. Why is that?
Because we fall under the FMCSA rules, and that is the Federal Motor Carrier Administration, which means we fall under the guidelines of the U.S. government. You are a carrier. You are a Class A driver. You are judged above everybody else.
All right. Hey, listen, we're going to go right back to your local stations. Hey, make it a safe one today. Stay focused. Stay, and Dave, when it's hot, it's easy to get unfocused during that period as well, right? Stay safe out there. Stay. What do we call it? Fluidized or?
Hydrated.
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 I think we had another word the other day for that. But stay safe is what we want you to do. We'll talk to you tomorrow. This is BCB Live.
The safest station in the nation. Can we cut that screen behind us?
Dude,